here at the log house, and the sugar shack is just over that way. But we've been here 22 years now, and we've made syrup way long before that.
So the production of maple syrup is a very complicated one. There are actually 4 major steps involved. The first is the collection of the sap, followed by the boiling of the sap to make syrup. There is the filtering to purify the product, and then the bottling and packaging. In our maple bush we use tubing to collect the sap. There are some pros and cons to the use of tubing. On the positive side, we don't have to go through the bush on a daily basis when the sap is running to collect the sap. On the negative side, you know, there's a lot more work in actually getting the tubing system all set up to begin with, and you need to keep track of how the tubing works from tree to tree, because it's a very unique sort of configuration.
The sap has been running pretty good. It's running pretty good today, but it's almost too mild for a good sap run now.
The other thing that tubing gives you is the ability to use a vacuum system. In other words, you basically suck the sap out of the tree, which improves the productivity quite a bit.
The pump is on right now, and if you touch your line, you can feel the sap pulsing in.
Sap coming out of the maple trees is almost like water. It's a major job to do to make syrup is to boil it. And we boil a lot of sap to make just a little bit of syrup. There's about
40 liters of sap to 1 liter of syrup.
Boiling is done in a big evaporator, which you see in the video, and it's a very tricky process, especially at the end, to get the syrup the right consistency. You have to avoid burning. Fire that we use to boil the sap is a wood fire, and there's a lot of work involved in, first of all, collecting all that wood in a big pile, and then a ton of work taking that wood load by load and loading it into the evaporator. It's pretty much a non-stop job.
When you boil the sap up, then you get the syrup, which is the right thickness, and then you have to filter it to take the impurities out of it in the sand. There's always sand in the maple syrup. It should be ready then for bottling.
Syrup is hot, so you get a good seal and have a sterile environment, so you don't have any kind of contaminants.
We put it into the containers in various sizes to suit the customer's needs.
Problems can occur at any point along the path, and it really does require really jack of all trades.
I like syrup season because it's a really fun time of year. I look forward to it every year, having grown up with maple syrup, and it's good. It's really good. The taste of the fresh syrup is just great.
It brings together the family.
Yeah, it brings together the family. Love tramping around in the bush. Even though there's lots of hard work, you get pancakes at the end.